violences. I think it also shows that Trudeau refuses ever to blink or to apologize or to compromise. Trudeau inflamed things from the very beginning, denouncing these truckers and their supporters as racist, sexist, implied that they were Nazis. In the election last fall, he said the same thing, and he said that we should not tolerate those people. He has the strictest anti-unvaccinated rules in the free world, barring. I think it also shows that Trudeau on a plane or taking a train refuses ever to blink or to apologize or to compromise. He deliberately Trudeau inflamed things from the very beginning, denouncing these truckers and their supporters as racist, sexist, implied that they were Nazis, out to be a mass movement, almost like a peaceful general strike, rather than some fringe with unacceptable opinions, as he said before. He had painted himself into a corner by demonizing them. And so today he threw more kerosene on the fire. Now he's equating them with terrorists. And he's equating anyone who donated to them as terrorists. I'm worried about what this will do for political opposition in Canada. I wonder how seriously people will take it. On the one hand, we've been under a state of emergency, really, for 2 years. We've accepted so many atrocious things in the name of a permanent emergency. We were told it would be 2 weeks to flatten the curve. We're coming up on the 2-year anniversary of those 2 weeks. I say again that this is the greatest infringement of civil liberties in our history. Not only saying where you can go, but who you can gather with, even in the privacy of your own home. Churches shut down. In Alberta, there is a pastor in solitary confinement in prison right now because of some health law that he allegedly broke a year ago. He's in solitary confinement today. Arthur Pavlovsky is his name. And the police have been weaponized to fulfill these bizarre and absurd and ever-changing and obscure and unscientific health orders, something that police were never contemplated to. Never before did police go out and deal with health orders. My point is, though, after 2 years of being told everything's an emergency and everything's a crisis and our civil liberties have to be infringed again and again, I don't know the impact of Trudeau's emergency. Will people say, yeah, throw that emergency on the pile of the other emergencies that have previously been declared? I don't know if its impact will be dulled by the fact that we've been told so many times that we're in an emergency. I think people will be shocked to be called a terrorist by their own prime minister, and that's really what they suggested. Do we have any clip of them using the word terrorist or anything in terms of money laundering? Do you have a clip? We'll throw that clip at you when we get it. That's the thing. I mean, there was all sorts of threats and huffing and puffing over the last 2 weeks, and it didn't seem to stop the truckers. On my show tonight, I talked to Joel Pollack, and I said, what can be done? And Joel said, look, in a country as big and diverse as Canada, some people will comply, but you can't govern Canada as a police state. I think Joel's probably right, but, if you've got this kind of power to seize bank accounts and to spy on people that the government has announced today, maybe you can rule a country as big and mighty as Canada as an authoritarian regime. Here's a clip of Chrystia Freeland implying that if you donated $20 to help the truckers, you're now a terrorist financier.
First, we are broadening the scope of Canada's anti-money laundering and terrorist financing rules so that they cover crowdfunding platforms and the payment service providers they use. These changes cover all forms of transactions, including digital assets, such as cryptocurrencies. The illegal blockades have highlighted the fact that crowdfunding platforms and some of the payment service providers they use are not fully captured under the Proceeds of Crime and Terrorist Financing Act.
Well, there you have it. They're effectively saying that the truckers are terrorists, and if you chipped in 10 or 20 or $100 for their convoy, you're a terrorist financier. And I'm just chuckling thinking about the fact that when it comes to actual terrorists like Omar Khadr, Justin Trudeau will not seize his bank account. In fact, Justin Trudeau will fill up his bank account. As you recall, Omar Khadr, the convicted, confessed al-Qaeda murderer and war criminal, was given a public apology from Justin Trudeau and $10.5 million. This abusiveness towards peaceful democratic protest is in contrast to how Trudeau deals with real enemies to Canada. Trudeau is obsequious to terrorists like Omar Khadr. Trudeau bends the knee to communist China even when they kidnap 2 Canadians for 1,000 days. He reserves his rage for Canadian citizens who happen to peacefully and joyfully disagree with him. To say that horn honking is a reason to bring in a national version of the War Measures Act is obviously a lie. But as I think I've proven to you, it's not actually about law and order on the streets. It's about getting the identity of everyone in the country who dares to electronically chip in $10 or whatever to Trudeau's political opponents. Look at the screen right now of those flag-waving happy Canadians. Trudeau is saying that they are tantamount to terrorists. And you saw what the Ottawa police tweeted about a week ago, that they are seizing, without warrant, all the digital ID of anyone who was there. So the police would have gone in and scanned every cell phone there and found the identity of everyone there. And I bet they're being put in a terrorist database. The irony is that Trudeau is opposed to those sorts of terrorist databases. He thinks the no-fly rule is a form of racial discrimination. He couldn't be softer on actual terrorism, but he is building a database of enemies. And you heard him. In fact, do we have the David Lametti quote? Where Lametti says that banks will be invited to or ordered to seize the bank accounts of Trudeau's enemies. Now, they don't use the phrase Trudeau's enemies, but that's who's being targeted here. They're not talking about environmental extremists who have poured in money into Canadian eco groups for years. Let me know when you have the Lametti clip. I don't know if we have it, but thank you. All right, let me see if I can get some questions or comments here. You know what? They're just whipping by so fast. I can't even read them. They're going by so fast. I'm going to give up. I just can't. My eyes can't read that fast. Looks like we got the Lametti clip ready to go. Let's take a look.
Reasonable and appropriate.
I want to emphasize one point clearly. These measures are temporary.
I don't believe that.
We intend to impose them for only as long as needed to restore order.
No. What are they going to do with the data they seize? Will that be destroyed? They're building a database of enemies. That's not a bad clip, but can we get the one where he says, for example, tow truck companies will be commandeered. If they refuse to let their tow trucks be rented by the government will literally commandeer the tow trucks to tow these truckers. That's what Lametti said. And there was another part where he said the banks will be invited to or forced to close bank accounts of Trudeau's enemies. Anyhow, we'll see if we can find that. I see a comment that says time for West separation. You know, that's what Joel Pollack said to me on my show tonight, that airs at 8, is that this will exacerbate a lot of things in the Canadian democracy. A lot of people thought that Canadian democracy was not working well even before this. And I think that'll be especially true in Alberta, which has already been abused in a number of ways by Trudeau. Albertans like their civil rights more than most. They're just the freest province in Canada. It's just a fact. I think that if Trudeau and the entire Laurentian elite, the entire establishment, allows, and do you really think this won't be extended? Like, really? Oh, just 2 weeks, just a promise. Okay, just another 2 weeks, a promise. Just a couple more weeks. You really think the state of emergency will be ended? Just like this income tax will be ended as soon as we beat the Kaiser in the Great War. Looks like we got the Lametti clip. Go ahead.
What we are seeing in Ottawa and what we are seeing at the Ambassador Bridge are not lawful protests. Second, designating and securing places where blockades are to be prohibited. This could include borders, approaches to borders, and other critical infrastructures, or Ottawa. Directing persons to render essential services to relieve impacts of blockades on Canada's economy. And this could include tow trucks and their drivers, for compensation, of course. Authorizing or directing financial institutions to render essential services to relieve the impact of blockades, including, as we have heard from the Deputy Prime Minister, regulating and prohibiting the use of property to fund or support the blockades.
Thanks.
Measures.
So I missed that the first time I heard that. Lametti will not just commandeer the trucks. He'll commandeer the truck drivers too. He will literally force, at gunpoint, I presume. How else do you force someone to drive a tow truck to tow the truckers away? You heard him. He didn't just said tow truck. I heard he said and drivers. How do you? I know how you commandeer a piece of equipment. You say, "Give me your car," but you commandeer a driver? That's shocking. And you heard him there, authorizing and directing banks to seize the money of Trudeau's opponents. Do you have that screenshot I emailed to you, Andrew? Yeah. Rosemary Barton has blocked me, so I had to take a screenshot of it. Pump it up as big as you can. It's quite something. She says, it's in reference to the New York Times. The New York Times deleted their tweet. Isn't that funny? The New York Times said there was a restriction of civil liberties, and Rosemary Barton said, can you pump that up a little bit? I can't quite see that. This is completely false. In no way does this suspend civil liberties. Good grief. Unbelievably, the New York Times appears to have deleted their tweet. Now, I showed you a few clips straight from the horse's mouth. Seizing bank accounts with no court order. Banning you from suing banks for seizing your bank accounts. Commandeering property, tow trucks, and people, drivers. And the government journalist at Trudeau's CBC state broadcaster says this in no way infringes civil liberties. They really are a state broadcaster, aren't they? Now, Andrew, what time do you got to get out of here?
I got a jet, but it sounds like Efron's ready to finish.
Okay. I don't want to, if Efron can take over from you, you know, it's Valentine's Eve, and our control room boss has a date for which he can't be late. And we just sort of pressed him into service, much like David Lametti would press a tow truck driver into service. We pressed Andrew into service with this live stream, but it looks like Efron can spot him off.
Times are bound bound for Liverpool, sometimes we're bound for Spain. Heave away, me jollies, heave away. But now we're bound for old St. John's, where all the girls are dancing. Heave away, and me jolly boys, we're all bound away. Sometimes we're bound for Liverpool, sometimes we're bound for Spain. Heave away, me jollies, heave away. But now we're bound for old St. John's, where all the girls are dancing. Heave away.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're still here, stay tuned for 7 o'clock Eastern time. You're not going to want to miss it. Love yous, guys. Have a good day.
We used to run wide open, living life without fear. Now really don't know how we ever got here, We let the little things pile up, we fence ourselves in. Sometimes you gotta tear it all down, start over again. Send your mind on down the road, past everything you know. Turn your wheels and go just to ride. Put some blacktop in front of you. Let those white lines run on you. Heading for somewhere, leaving something behind just to ride. We could burn across the desert, see those Vegas lights, take a drive down Main Street. People do it all the time. People do it all the time. Cruise up to the mountains, get close to the stars. If you find yourself unhappy where you are, just get in your car and drive. Send your mind on down the road, past everything you know. Turn your wheels and roll just to ride. Put some blacktop in front of you. Let those white lines run on you. Heading for somewhere, leaving something behind just to ride. It don't matter at all, just to ride. It don't matter at all, just to ride. It don't matter at all, just to ride.
Bingo bango. How's it going, everybody? I know some people are watching what's happening, and I know everybody's wondering what's going on, guys. Nobody moves.
Stay where you are.
Nobody moves.
Let's go.
Guys, you're watching the political spectrum crumble. You're watching him panic mode now. This is just a taste of it. The real fun stuff starts now. We're standing here watching everybody, oh, Trudeau did this, war is declared, oh, this. Nah, not a chance.
Yeah, get out of here with that stuff.
When that happens, you guys, trust me, these men and women of our armed forces are not going to come in and hurt us. They cannot hurt you. It is their duty to protect their citizens. They will not. And many policemen and firemen and all people all over, 100%. will turn around and drop their badges. They will not follow through with this. They know what's going on. So, happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Nobody's going anywhere. Nobody's going anywhere. Let them bring it on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the hill. You can't back away.
No.
You can't stop. We cannot walk away from this. We know where we're at. We know our hearts are in the right place. But just remember, it's not the only convoy going on.
That's right.
It's not the only one. You've got Australia. You've got convoys all around the world. You've got, the United States is putting one on. You've got the other guys, in the East Coast are going to start going. Ladies and gentlemen, Trudeau, Mr. Trudeau. What?
Let's see. He needs to speak about the token on the last.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I will do that too.
Yeah.
We're only on here for.
We got a few minutes because we got another. Owen's our man there.
We don't have an editor to speak into our ears. We do this off the cuff, so it is right now.
Because of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We need it.
Okay. So we see what's going on now, and they're coming in really hard at us. We're going to stand and say exactly what needs to be said.
Yeah.
Anybody who at the Coots border had a weapon or anything there, that was a plant. That was a plant the whole time. It's this kind of coincidence that Coots border had an incident and Ottawa had an incident as well, all on the same day. You got 10,000 protesters coming in, trying to create a havoc, trying to create a storm, trying to make it look like it's a radical thing. Too bad they lost that narrative, so nobody got to see that. And now you've got them doing something at the Coots border to make it look that way. We are not playing with a fair group of people.
Nope.
They're not going to touch us, you guys. I guarantee you they're not going to touch us. I got my heart, my soul, and everything in my essence of being is telling me that they will not touch us. There's nothing going to happen. As long as you keep being peaceful, you have your right to a freedom of peaceful protest.
That's right.
And as long as you're peaceful, and as long as it stays peaceful, they can't touch ya. Listen to this, guys.
Keep being good Canadians.
So they see that. They see what's going on. They see that we're nothing but peace-loving people out here being, nice to each other. So they have to go paint it in a picture it's not. Have we not listened, learned, and learned a lot over the last 3 weeks?
Yep.
Seeing what's going on? That's right. That is my next note. It still has to be passed by Parliament. So when we shot out that Freedom Token coin, when we put out the Freedom Convoy 2017,
that's why.
I'm going to bring this out. This is why I'm going to show everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, we formulated the Freedom Convoy token. Inside that token gives you a decentralized banking system to be able to provide funds to these truckers. So we have the Freedom Convoy token, and we need everybody out there to get on board with this Freedom Convoy token. So because it's a decentralized platform and nobody can touch it, not even Mr. JT. JT can't touch it. Nobody can touch it. So this is why they're trying to say he's going to try and invoke it, because we got him hand over fist. Every move that he makes, we've got it countered. This is how you play the game.
Let's go.
If you want to, George, will you be Linda Estes Valentine?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
I'm everybody's Valentine. I love you all.
Yeah, we do. Hold the line.
That's right,
Stand
guys.
your grounds. Don't go anywhere. Don't back down. Don't listen to what the rumors are saying. Stop the negative stuff. Today's Valentine's Day. You can't have George because he's my Valentine.
Let's go.
He's
freedom,
my
freedom,
Valentine.
freedom.
George is my Valentine today. So
go to the Telegram and find support there on how to get into the crypto market.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the link is on the
behind
on the
You
website.
can see better.
Right?
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Going to the Telegram page. Everyone's learning how to use this crypto. And here's why, in my opinion. This thing is going to run over us like a freight train if we don't learn. They're going to start passing legislation on this sort of thing. And if we don't understand it, we're not going to be a part of that debate. We could be using words we don't understand and be passing bills. And next thing you know, we're completely screwed. Social credit system. The best way to fight this is be informed. And this is what's happening right now on Telegram. Communities of people are getting together, teaching each other how this system works. It's brand new for many of us, but it's very important. Very important.
Okay. So in the website there, you guys, the one that we showed, freedomconvoytoken.com, there is a link to a Telegram in there. Okay. You can get in there and they'll run you through it. This is for everyone. This is how we get away from them seizing money. This is how people can make money. Freedom fighters, truck drivers, we have a week to get the $20 to the truck drivers, get their names vetted, registration and stuff. So we're going to be working hard at doing that. So everybody gets a free $20 at once as a truck driver, right? So get on.
Yeah, you're getting $100 right now. If you got all truckers that got their $20 coins, all the truckers in Coots, all the truckers in Windsor, and all the truckers here in Ottawa, you got your $20 free coins. That coin's already worth $100 right now.
That's right.
So we need everybody to get on board with that and understand this is what they're doing. And we're playing back. We're pushing back hard. We do have to get going to another interview right away. The plan right now, stay the course.
And
don't move.
Don't forget, you Alberta boys, get down to Coots, okay? Get down there. Hold the line down there, you guys. Whoever's not working and can get down there, go. Okay? And for the boys in the States, too. The boys in the States.
If there are any truckers in the greater Montana state that love Alberta, feel free to come up to the backside of that border in Coots and stand with our men and women. I know that there's something happening. You got to highly suggest. We're back. Hi, Cesis.
Canadienne pour tous ceux qui sont derrière ce conduit pour parler
de plusieurs choses just jumped in right now.
Objectif étant ici mobilisé.
The operational side has just a couple of updates that we'd like to share with you, because we know the general, mainstream, or legacy media has passed a bunch of information that is making a lot of people who aren't present here very nervous. And we just want to reassure you, there is no reason for that.
Donc aujourd'hui, le but de cette conférence-là, c'est de remettre les pendules à l'heure par rapport à tout ce qui touche et ce que les médias essayent de divulguer comme information et qui rend tout le monde nerveux ici au niveau des opérations. Donc on est là pour faire les choses au clair.
Some people might be nervous because they notice that trucks are starting to move around the city and change positions.
Quelques personnes peuvent être nerveuses par rapport aux camions qui sont en train de se déplacer à travers la ville parce que c'est juste un déplacement des camions au niveau de la ville.
This has nothing to do with any sort of negotiation with the city of Ottawa, as that has not been finalized.
Ceci n'a aucunement rapport avec aucune négociation qui a eu lieu avec le maire ou la ville d'Ottawa pour des négociations quelconques. Il n'a pas eu lieu de négociation.
The movements are being coordinated by the operations group along with the truckers that are in Ottawa with a sole purpose to try to get out of the residential areas because our intention was never to be an inconvenience to the residents of Ottawa.
Donc, en réalité, le mouvement qui est coordonné avec les gens du terrain, avec les gens qui s'occupent du terrain, avec les camionneurs, pour bouger les camionneurs à travers la ville, pour sortir des secteurs résidentiels, parce que notre but n'est pas de déranger les résidents d'Ottawa, mais on a un autre but à faire, et c'est pour ça qu'on relocalise en faisant le mouvement avec la coordination du bureau-chef ici, pour être capable de se placer en bonne et due forme sans déranger les citoyens.
Though the authorities would not like us to continue supplying our friendly demonstrators with the needs to keep them comfortable, we continue to do so and quite efficiently.
Même si les autorités font tout pour nous empêcher de pouvoir fournir à nos camionneurs et les gens qui sont mobilisés à Ottawa les éléments qui ont de besoins nécessaires, essentiels pour garder le convoi en place, on va continuer à le faire.
We've actually begun our own logistics operation to redistribute food to the areas that need it the most to keep everybody fed and happy.
Donc, on a tout mis en place les équipes et logistiques nécessaires pour être en mesure de fournir tout l'essentiel à ces camionneurs-là et les gens immobilisés à travers différentes tactiques sur le terrain.
We're not being greedy with the donations that have been given to us. We take only what is needed. And the biggest challenge that we have right now is taking that excess donated food and supplying it to local shelters.
Donc, en réalité, on n'est pas des gens qui sont en train de prendre vos donations pour acquis. On s'en sert de bonne manière pour être en mesure de fournir tout ce qui est nécessaire et tout ce qui est excès de nourriture a été et sera remis à tous les shelters ici, dans le coin d'Ottawa.
The issue is that currently, with our donations, they're oversupplied. So we will increase our reach to the outlying areas around Ottawa and help out as much as we can while we are here.
Le bon problème à travers tout ça, c'est qu'il y a beaucoup de donations de nourriture et autres. Et ces donations-là vont être remises à travers tous les campements ou les endroits qui en ont besoin ici à Ottawa pour maintenir ça en place.
I'd like to introduce Pat King, who would like to say some words as well.
J'aimerais présenter Pat King pour dire quelques mots aussi.
Hey guys, y'all know who I am. You know where we come from. You know what part of the logistics coordinating we all fit in.
Donc, bonjour tout le monde. Vous savez bien sûr qui je suis. Donc, Pat King. Donc, vous savez qu'est-ce qu'il fait là, puis c'est quoi sa part dans la logistique de ce qui se passe ici à Ottawa.
The number one thing we're here to tell you guys is don't back off.
La première chose que j'aimerais vous dire, c'est que ne partez pas.
When we move these trucks around strategically, that's what we're doing on coordinating to make sure that we have everybody in a nice tight-knit area where we can keep close ties on them due to the ample amount of harassment and anti-protesters that are trying to come out from underneath their bridges.
Donc, en résumé, pour tenir ça très court, c'est qu'en réalité, tout le mouvement qui s'est passé à travers la ville avec les camionneurs, c'était pour se repositionner stratégiquement, pour mettre encore plus de pression dans des endroits stratégiques, parce que ici, on se fait carrément harceler par toutes les autorités qui sont en place. Donc, on fait juste ça stratégiquement pour regrouper tout le monde et être en mesure de bien se protéger et bien faire les choses.
Now, you've all seen what Mr. Fancy Socks has said on the news today.
Donc, vous avez tous vu qu'est-ce que le premier ministre a dit aujourd'hui en conférence de presse.
You got to understand how politics work. These are scare tactics.
Si vous comprenez la politique, ce qui se passe maintenant, c'est de la politique de peur de leur part et c'est juste stratégique de leur côté.
What he's gone and done was asked the Parliament to invoke the Emergencies Act.
Donc, ce qu'il a demandé, c'est de partir le Parlement sur une urgence, en urgence.
Mr. Fancy Socks has a minority government.
Donc, Monsieur le Premier ministre, lui, a un gouvernement minoritaire.
That means he has a lot of opposition against him, including you and all the people out there, and including all these people in this room that are here to protect our truckers.
Donc, ça veut dire qu'il a beaucoup d'opposition, incluant vous, la population, et tous les gens qui sont là et les truckers qui sont sur place mobilisés.
The number one priority of this, what we're doing in this peaceful demonstration, is the safety of all participants.
Le but premier de tout ça, c'est d'assurer la sécurité de tous les gens qui participent à cet événement-là, de cette mobilisation.
We are in no way going to put anyone in harm's way, and we in no way are going to back away from you. I will be the last man to leave Ottawa.
Donc, en réalité, toute cette opération est mise en place pour assurer la sécurité de tout le monde, parce qu'on est là, ici, d'une façon pacifique. Et on va le rester comme ça, mais on va rester ferme. Et on va être les derniers hommes qui vont quitter le terrain.
We came here to do something. We have a whole world watching us. It is our duty to continue on with that absolute phenomenal movement that we've been able to successfully hold.
Donc, en réalité, on est venu ici avec une idée en tête et un seul but, et on va l'accomplir jusqu'au bout parce que la planète entière nous regarde et ce n'est plus le temps de reculer, on va jusqu'au bout.
We've started a movement around the world that's happened in only 3 weeks' time.
On a parti un mouvement à travers la planète en seulement 3 semaines.
We've healed the world in less than 3 weeks from the damage that's been caused in 2 years.
On a guéri la planète entière en 3 semaines des dommages qui ont été causés dans les 2 dernières années.
Imagine what we can do in another 2 years.
Imaginez ce qu'on peut faire comme changement dans les 2 prochaines années.
Hold the line, ladies and gentlemen. Do not back down. We got your backs, we got your six, and we ain't leaving you alone. We're here for you.
Tenez votre ligne, tout le monde. On ne reculera pas. On est là pour vous autres.
And now I'd like to introduce to you the lady on my left, the lovely, the one, the only, Bridget.
Donc maintenant, je vous laisse et, avec Brigitte. La très aimable Brigitte.
So I do a lot of things here while I'm in Ottawa, and the one thing that's passionate to my heart is dealing with the people that have been adversely affected by COVID.
Donc, je fais beaucoup de choses ici à Ottawa, mais principalement, je suis là pour surtout ceux qui ont été affectés directement par la COVID.
Just like myself, we've all struggled through the last 2 years.
Justement, comme sa personne, elle a souffert depuis les 2 dernières années.
So what I'd like to see is a lot more of your stories. I need your stories.
Donc, ce que je voudrais voir et savoir, c'est vos histoires aussi que vous avez passées à travers les 2 dernières années. J'aimerais ça que vous nous les partagez.
We'll be doing candlelight vigils with your family and your stories. Family members of suicide, COVID, injection, reactions, and so on.
Donc, on va faire un vigile en silence avec des lampions pour les familles qui ont été affectées par des suicides, par des gens, des effets secondaires suite à la vaccination ou autres dommages qui auraient pu être causés à ces familles-là.
How do you get your loved ones' photos to us? Take a pen, take a paper, I'll give you a second, but it's freedomconvoy05@gmail.com.
Donc, prenez un instant pour aller chercher un papier et un crayon pour que on puisse vous donner le courriel pour être en mesure de nous envoyer ces informations-là avec une photo de la personne en question. Just repeat it again. I don't know if it's possible to put it on the screen.
Freedom
Convoy05@gmail.com.
So freedomconvoy05@gmail.com.
So if you can get us your stories, we'd like to fill the fences in front of Parliament Hill with you and your stories and your family and their stories.
Donc, si vous êtes capable de nous fournir tout ça par courriel rapidement et massivement, on va être capable de mettre tout ça devant le Parlement et pouvoir exposer tous ces gens-là au gouvernement.
We need those voices that can no longer speak for themselves heard. And it's your job, your family, to get us their stories.
Donc, on a besoin de ces gens qui ne peuvent plus porter leur voix et apporter leur voix à ces gens-là, au gouvernement. Donc, on a besoin de votre aide pour être en mesure d'apporter leur voix et qu'on puisse faire la différence.
So again, freedomconvoy05.com, and I'm going to introduce you to the lovely Dana.
Et là, comme elle a répété tantôt le courriel, Freedom Convoy, F-R-E-E-D-O-M, Convoy, C-O-N-V-O-Y, 05a@gmail.com. Et là, on va vous présenter à
Dana. Hi, everyone. I'm just going to add a little bit to the grassroots movement today in supports on the financial aspect.
OK, donc Dina est ici aujourd'hui, elle se présente. Bonjour tout le monde. Donc elle va présenter plutôt l'aspect financier.
We have veterans that have come forward to help us do collection throughout the community that is going directly into the hands of our truckers.
Donc, nous avons une large communauté de vétérans qui sont en train de ramasser les donations sur le terrain à travers la ville pour être capable de les mettre dans les mains des truckers directement.
This has been incredibly helpful for emergency situations that have tied us over while we are trying to release the well-needed funds.
Cela a été très apprécié, surtout dans les cas d'urgence pour ces truckers-là. Donc, ça a été très efficace et ça marche très bien.
In the meantime, there is another grassroots organization that has stepped up to support us.
Donc, entre-temps, sur la route, il y a une autre organisation qui s'est présentée pour venir en aide et en support aussi.
It is the Family Expense Support Fund.
It's the Family Express
Support Fund.
Support Funds. It's not translatable.
See? That's famille.
Exactly.
Famille. C'est la famille.
How this program works is that they pair off a donor with a recipient. So they work directly between a family or a truck driver and a supporter. So that's been very, very effective so far.
Donc, en réalité, ce programme-là, c'est que, en réalité, ce que vous faites en tant que famille, c'est que vous adoptez un camionneur qui est inscrit pour lequel vous avez des relations directes pour aider chacun de ces camionneurs-là. Et ça, aux familles. Et bien sûr, cela fonctionne très bien. Ils ont déjà commencé ça et ça fonctionne très bien.
You're awesome. Just saying. So yeah, how can you avail of these funds? I'm going to spell it out because it's just a little bit easier than trying to pronounce it. It is www.fcfes.ca. If you are a donor or a recipient, you will find the information that's required for that on that website.
Parfait. So, que vous soyez donateur ou receveur de ces dons-là, vous pouvez aller sur le www.fcfes.ca. C'est là-dessus que vous pouvez faire l'enregistrement.
So thank you for everybody that's contributed to the ground force so far, and for those of you that are going to step up and support us in our adventures here in Ottawa.
Donc, merci à tout le monde et tous ceux qui participent ou qui donnent. Merci à tous vos efforts. On vous remercie et on continue dans notre combat.
And I'm now going to pass it over to George.
Et là, on va remettre la parole à George, pas moi.
Hello, my fellow Canadians. I'll start off with thanking everyone that's been contributing in this convoy in Ottawa.
Donc, bonjour tout le monde, de Georges. Donc, encore une fois, il aimerait remercier tous les gens qui sont en support et qui sont là sur le terrain pour supporter le convoi qui est présentement ici à Ottawa.
Now is the tipping point where we need to band together even more. They're coming at us with this Emergency Act.
Donc là, c'est plus important que jamais de s'unir ensemble parce qu'on est sur le bord de faire des changements et il va falloir qu'on reste unis pour pouvoir bouger les choses encore plus rapidement.
The Emergency Act still has to be passed through Parliament and it's not there, it's a scare tactic.
Donc le Parlement ici a pris la stratégie de l'urgence qui va prendre une semaine, mais on sait que c'est une campagne de peur, rien de plus. Ce n'est pas fondé.
Now is the time for Canada to unite as one and help each other out even more. This is just the beginning to the end.
Donc là, il est plus important que jamais que l'entière population du Canada en entier de s'unir main dans la main pour ce combat, pour qu'on puisse passer à travers ce début de guerre.
I have to ask all across the country, get to your borders, get to your cities, come to Ottawa and support all Canadians.
Donc, on demande à tout le monde à travers toutes les villes de partir de où ce que vous êtes et de venir vers Ottawa pour être en mesure d'avancer les choses.
Ou de vous rendre aux frontières.
Ou de vous rendre aux frontières.
In Alberta, at Coots, I know there's people leaving. Please don't leave. Stand your ground. There's help coming from the south. Stand your ground, people, and stand up for your rights and freedoms. Thank you.
And what else do we got? De quoi? What's that? Pardon me? Coots. Let's go. Donc, pour les gens qui sont en Alberta, à Coots, tenez bon, ne lâchez pas, on reste mobilisés.
Il y a de l'aide qui s'en vient.
Il y a de l'aide qui s'en vient, d'où? Du sud.
Now I'd like to introduce this fella. I remember his name.
That's okay, buddy. We get to know each other.
One thing I want to jump in here and just say, ladies and gentlemen, we support everybody out there. We understand that Ottawa is the focus point right now, and that's where we're at, and we aren't backing down.
Donc, à tout le monde qui se mobilise, nous autres, on est ici à Ottawa, malgré qu'on aide partout, mais c'est là le principal de se mobiliser, c'est à Ottawa. C'est là qu'il faut être, puis c'est là qu'il faut se mobiliser en ce moment.
But right now, our focus is on our men and women that are here in Ottawa to make sure that you guys know that we are here for you.
Donc, notre focus principal présentement, c'est que les gens qui sont mobilisés à Ottawa, qu'ils soient en sécurité, que tout fonctionne bien, puis qu'on est là pour vous et avec vous.
And just like we're here for the men and women here in Ottawa, you need to be there and support in your provinces across this country where you're holding the lines in your own provinces.
Donc, comme qu'on fait ici à Ottawa, à tenir les gens debout et de garder leur position à Ottawa mobilisés, on demande la même chose dans toutes les villes, apporter du support et de l'aide pour que les gens puissent rester mobilisés. On ne recule pas.
And George
dans toutes les provinces.
And George has one thing to say.
Let's go, let's go, let's go! Freedom!
Donc, bien sûr, liberté, on crie liberté. On remercie tout le monde.
That didn't sound
That didn't sound the same.
I don't So, myself, George Tiger, j'ai fait la traduction pour ces gentlemen ici. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, in closing, I would just like to make it clear.
Donc, pour la fermeture, j'aimerais rendre les choses claires.
Every legacy media outlet and many of the leaders of the province, this country, and other countries are creating a lot of noise right now.
Donc, tous les mainstream médias, incluant les gouvernements corrompus, que je rajoute de ma part, sont en train de faire une propagande qui n'a pas à avoir lieu.
It's not surprising because it hasn't just started when the convoy got here. It's been happening since COVID began to exist.
Ce n'est pas surprenant parce que de toute façon, c'est ça qui arrive depuis les 3 semaines qu'on est ici avec le convoi et c'est ce qu'ils font de toute façon depuis les 2 dernières années.
Being sick of the lies, separated, segregated, and pushed into dark places is part of the reason why this convoy and peaceful demonstration mobilized and came to this city right here.
Donc, en réalité, la ségrégation qui a été créée, les fausses nouvelles qui ont été créées, la peur qui a été créée. I'm just sorry, it's way too long.
It's getting late, eh?
Les gens sont fatigués et écœurés de tous les mensonges qu'on vit à travers les médias et la campagne de peur que les gouvernements mettent en place. Puis c'est pas juste ici, c'est partout dans d'autres pays. C'est pour ça qu'on est ici, puis c'est pour ça qu'on recule pas. Puis on le fait pacifiquement, avec amour. On n'a pas d'incidents qui ont été déclarés sur les lieux par les gens qui protestent ou qui sont mobilisés à Ottawa.
On est ici pour rester.
On est ici pour rester.
The intention of everybody here is to support each other, stand together, and unite to get back what we never should have lost, our
Donc,
freedoms.
le but de notre présence ici, c'est ce qui se passe depuis 3 semaines, c'est que tout le monde se tient ensemble, tout le monde est uni, ils font ça dans l'amour, pacifiquement, l'entraide est là, est présente. En réalité, il faut être ici pour le voir, pour le croire. Donc, pour récupérer nos droits et libertés qu'on n'aura jamais dû perdre depuis le début.
I just want to assure you in closing, the noise makes it seem chaotic.
Donc, juste pour que ça soit clair pour vous autres, tous les bruits qui sont lancés ou les fausses nouvelles qui sont lancées, c'est pour démontrer que c'est chaotique ici.
But even though it's Valentine's Day, before this day and going forward, I am sure that I will never experience as much love and unity and peace as we have thus far in our journey.
Donc, malgré qu'aujourd'hui, c'est la Saint-Valentin, le 14 février, mais même avant et après, jamais il aurait pu croire de vivre l'expérience de l'amour et l'unité dans laquelle on vit présentement à Ottawa.
Et qu'il a témoigné.
Et qu'on a tous témoigné.
Oui.
Choosing to support, stand up, and be vocal about the injustices that are happening currently is being on the right side of the line.
Yeah. You stumped him, friend. You stumped him.
This is what happens when you don't sleep.
The days and the nights are long.
De se faire entendre. Vas-y, vas-y. I'm just gonna let Mark take a bit because Trying to be busy.
Tag teaming, we're keeping them busy.
De se faire entendre est la raison principale pourquoi nous sommes tous ici. Nous n'avons pas l'intention de partir et on se sent tous ensemble dans un amour total.
And being on the right side of the line is the spot that we will remain and the line that we will hold.
C'est ça. Étant sur le bon côté de la ligne, on se sent fort. On vous demande d'être fort, de tenir la ligne avec nous.
And we will remain here peacefully, waiting to be acknowledged by the leaders of the country as it is our democratic right.
Et nous allons rester ici. Nous ne partirons pas pour que les leaders du pays viennent discuter avec nous et négocier.
Let's increase the unity, let's increase the strength, and let's rise together and take this to better places. And with your support, we can make that possible.
Unissons-nous dans la force, unissons nos forces, et avec ça, nous allons réussir avec succès à faire ce que nous sommes venus à Ottawa pour faire.
And to all the people that support us, thank you and we love you.
Et pour tout le monde qui nous supporte, qui nous aide ici à Ottawa, on vous dit merci.
Have a good night. Tomorrow's another busy day.
I love you all more. Freedom. And I just want to say, don't forget to check out FCT, freedomconvoytoken.com.
Freedom! Let's go, let's go, let's go.
That's it. That's it. The lives.
Lives off.
Hang on. We got
Quiet.